Hi, Shane here. I thought I'd do a little video. I've been off work for a couple of weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I'm not sure, time evades me. I'm suffering with a bit of anxiety and depression at the moment, so I may not seem my same chirpy self, but I wanted to keep my mind active, and video editing and doing a bit of shooting will lift my spirits a bit and keep my mind occupied. So today will be a bit of a shoot off. It will be a versus, probably not a very fair one. My Reximex Mito pistol fitted with these Fiachi, my channel sponsor, these open sights that I wanted to shoot the guns with in the first place, but I didn't rate the actual open sights, what came with the gun. So I bought those ones. I think they cost me nearly £30. If you're interested in them, fully adjustable. I'm really happy with them, not because it's my channel sponsor. I paid for these with my own money. They're like, the rear sight is like an aperture sight, but I'll give you a closer look at that in a moment. And my son brought this now this is a Webley Nemesis single stroke. It's sort of like almost fires like a PCP really. It's recoilless. You give it one sort of pump, if we could call it a pump. There's a chamber. I'll probably yabble on this video, so I do apologise. It's a single stroke pneumatic, so it's almost like a PCP. On that stroke it's easy to pull open this unit here, what looks a bit like a shock absorber. That sucks air in. And then the next one, when you pull it down, is the compression stroke. It's quite hard despite its age. I did chrono this and I think it's doing around the 3 foot-pounds. The Reximex Mito is doing 5.1. There is a few differences between the guns, because this one at some point it wasn't left in a gun case or a gun bag, or it hasn't been carefully looked after over the years of its life. So it's got a few battle scars. At some point the rear sight, I don't know how well you see it being black, but the rear sight got unattached, broken, whatever. I think there's probably a chance I could either make one or possibly buy one to refit and then use the gun with open sights. It's not my gun, but I can have it whenever I want. It's my son's. It's sat in a drawer or a cupboard for years. He's the second owner of it from brand new. Between the two guns, really, it swings and roundabouts. The Mito is about a month old. I've put about 520 shots through it now, using the same brand of pellet, which you'll see in a moment. The grip doesn't fit my hand perfect, but it's a tall order for a manufacturer to make one ambidextrous grip what'll fit everybody. The grip on this Webley in my hands feels much better, more comfortable. I'll better shoot it off. I know there's nothing in there. There it is. Quite loud for a little gun, this is. I've been forced to put a red dot sight on this one, so it's not sort of an equal competition. However, this Webley has got a far superior trigger. It's just over 3 pounds pull weight. Despite watching numerous videos, there don't seem to be that much stuff on at the moment regarding taking these to pieces. But I've adjusted the trigger 4 or 5 times. I did read on a forum that the trigger screw, which is at the back of the actual trigger blade, if you turn it clockwise too many times to try and make the trigger lighter, it actually goes into the block and the gun will have to be taken to pieces. It's quite a short little bolt. So I'm not in any rush to do that. So as it stands, I dread to think what it was. I didn't actually measure it when I got it new, but it was horrendous. I'm guessing it was 8 or 9 pounds pull weight. It's now 5, which is still too hard. So the Webley, it's a 2.2, so it's not a fair comparison. This is a .22. I'm limited to me 2.2 pellets. I've only got air arms pellets. I've got plenty of them, but only air arms. I haven't got any flathead pellets. So I've just put 2 targets up, and I'll be shooting out my kitchen as normal. And it's a set distance of 13.8 yards, which is longer than 10 metres, I believe. I'll put it on screen what 13.8 yards equates to. I'll spin the camera around and show you the targets. I've just set them up rested. I'll be shooting both guns with my left hand. I am left-handed. I will be shooting them one-handed, but let's be fair, they're not Olympic guns. So I'm sure I could be forgiven if I did hold them with two hands. They haven't got the lightest two-stage match triggers. So I'm doing the best of a bad job. Now, if I was a betting man, my money would be on this one. But I've only done about 20 shots with those open sights since I fitted them on. Before that, I've had 500 shots with this gun, or thereabouts, with a red dot sight, which is now on this Webley. I'm forced to put it on the Webley, as I say, the rear sights are missing. So I'll show you the targets that I've already done, and then we'll crack on with the shooting. And quite honestly, I don't know which one will come out best. I think probably the Mito. But as I said, it's got a terrible trigger and you easily pull yourself off target. This one's got a far superior trigger, but I've not pellet tested the gun, as I haven't got a selection of pellets to find what it likes best, because I'm pretty sure it would shoot better if I did some pellet testing with it. But this one is easier to shoot, it's got a lighter trigger and it's more comfortable to hold. But they are a similar weight, despite one being much longer than the other. You would think that the Mito will be a lot heavier. But actually this one is a few grams heavier. This one's 940, and all I remember is when I weighed them a couple of weeks ago is this one is very marginally heavier, not by a lot. Well, I'll show you the targets I've already shot and then we'll do some shooting. So the Webley rested gave these results, and it started at the bottom because I've just freshly put the red dot sight on. It was set for the Reximex Mito, and I gradually adjusted the sight, got it up. And that was, after that shot I did go up one dot more and to the left. So it doesn't leave a very pronounced hole in the target when you shoot, because they're not the actual wad cutting pellets. They're dome shaped pellets, so I've circled them with a pen. But that's rested, I don't know, 7 shots or so. And then I went on to the Mito, did a few with the open sights with the gun rested, as you see there. Leaves a pronounced, these pellets have got a flat head on them, match grade sort of flathead wad cutter, so they leave a nice hole so it's easily seen. And they're all going sort of to the left, and that was using the smaller aperture on the rear sights. You can flick it round to have a larger aperture. So I adjusted it, made it more to the right on the next target, which is here. So I took 4 shots, as you can see. First 2 were there, and then the next 2 were here, just above the bullseye. So that would give you the impression, like I said, that the Mito will win this competition quite easily. But that's with the gun rested, and when it's rested, the trigger doesn't become so much of a problem. The pull weights of the trigger, it's not a problem as such, because I was holding the gun very steady with 2 hands on both guns. But on my kitchen floor, I have some tape. It looks very unsightly, the wife don't like it, but that's been there for weeks, since mid-December, since I got my Mito, and that's a marked distance to the target. Right, it's dappled in sunlight at the moment, and I am shooting for a piece of glass, but the targets are down there, as I say, countless times, 13.8 yards. Now, if I measured this to 10 metres, it ends up that I'm outside there, just outside the kitchen door. And the problem with that is if it's really windy, it's a bit windy at the moment, but if it's really windy, if it's raining, which it has been quite a lot, we are in winter time in the UK at the moment, it's January, around about, I don't know, the 29th or 30th, that's just a guess. I'm going to get a soaking and I'll be shooting in the rain. However, if I move the target closer, so it's 10 metres, then it'll obstruct the wife's washing line and she'll probably trip over it. So I've just left it as it is. And the advantage is, if I keep practicing at this sort of distance with one arm, and I can sort of get better over time because I do a lot of practicing, and you can shoot in all weathers, all winds and everything else, even night time if you want to, the way this is set at the moment. Then when I do get a high end, I intend to buy a high end gun in the future, high end pistol. Then when I bring that in closer and get it to the actual Olympic distance of 10 meters and get it higher, because it's not high enough either. Obviously my shooting should get better, that's the plan anyway, depending on health and the rest of my circumstances at the moment in life. Anyway, we'll get on with the shooting. I'll set another camera up so you can see I'm not cheating, and I am shooting with my left arm, unsupported, not with two hands, because I don't want to upset people. Martin Bonelli will be quick on that keyboard, give me some comments. Right, so let's get shooting. And the moment in my head, the Mito will be the winner. And I'll be doing it on the point system. So, for instance, those two there are clearly in an 8. So that'd be 16 points. And those two, well, that one there is definitely a 10. That one there, I'll give it a 9.3. It's not quite half. So that's the way I'm gonna do it before I start. It's probably not the Olympic way of doing things, or anybody else's way of doing things. That one there, it's half in this 3 and it's halfway in the 4, so I'll call that a 3.5. You get the think you get the picture. Right, let's start the shooting. Let's just show you a close up of the guns first. This is the Mito with these rear sights on. Fiachi sights, my channel sponsor. As I say, I paid for these with my own money. I didn't get any discount or anything. And then you've got a larger aperture, and then just flicking it with your finger, a small aperture. I prefer the small one, it's harder to see, but I'm not sure if I can line the camera up so you can actually, if it will focus properly, but yeah, it's harder to line up, and you do get parallax error if you move your head slightly. And the rear post there, and you, by the way, they fold down. If you press this pin here, both sides, rear and front, they fold forward, so it's easier to store in a gun case or what have you. But down the side of that one is a little pin. If you press the pin, you can spin this post. Let's try and zoom in a bit closer. There is actually a pin down the side of that side there. You can press it, spring loaded, you can press it, and then you can turn this. I did it with a pair of the wife's tweezers. You turn this round and it goes down or up. You know, they should have done a much better sight on this gun when they made it. I definitely wouldn't be happy if I paid £450 for the gun. Luckily we got it for £229, and I had to buy rail adapters, and they were very cheap. In fact, I've still got a pair spare. These rail adapters, because the rail on this says it's Picatinny, and I always thought Picatinny was 20mm wide, but how wrong I am. They're actually 11mm these, so when I bought these open sights in December, they obviously don't fit on, they're too big, so I had to buy these little adapters. I will put it on screen from a UK seller, and it's where I bought my scope from, what's on one of my rifles that I've yet to review, and I'm over the moon with that for the money it cost. So I'll put that on screen. This is the Webley. It's seen better days. It's the Nemesis. Webley, of course, is taking over now. It's made in Turkey, not in Birmingham, by Webley and Scott. Totally different. This one's got a few battle scars. It's got some light scratching there where it's been roughly put down by somebody. But this is the made between 94 and 2005 Webley Nemesis. And I've not touched the trigger on this. I'm sure I could make it a lot lighter, but it's not my gun, so I wouldn't mess with anybody else's guns. It's my son's. I'm pretty sure he'd give me permission if I did want to adjust it, but I won't do things like that with stuff what don't belong to me. But that's the Webley. Like I say, in my mind, the Mito will win it, but you're looking at me with a wobbly left arm, and I'll be doing the best I can with both guns. And there's a lot of falls, advantages, disadvantages involved. I'm gassing on now, so let's get the target out, and we'll do two 10-shot efforts, attempts, whatever you want to call it, at the target, and I think the Mito will win, but we will see. On to shoot. Pulling the trigger makes your arm shake. Can't see this because the target's that bright. I can't see where the pellets are going, so as long as they're hitting the target, that's the main thing. I don't know what happened there, but I saw the branches of a bush move, so I did hear the target, but I think that's going to be a bad one. Looks like I went really hard with that one. We hit a bullet, it'd be pure luck and skill, I'll tell you. Whatever you think, you'll think it's rubbish the same as I do, but it's a hell of a challenge and it's a lot harder than what it looks, let me tell you. Right, that's that one. 10 shots. That's the Webley's turn. Blimey, sort of got one in the bull's eye there. I am amazed. Right, now for the Webley's turn. Yeah. Hard to do it, look. Right, let's load this thing on the red dot off. In this case I'm having a green dot. Put the pellet in, with 10 laid out there. First shot, left hand, same distance. Hopefully I'll hit the target, not the camera. That's the green dot, where is it? It's low, I saw where that went. Sunlight's that bright, it's giving a bit of a reflection off. Not an excuse. Much better trigger by far. Trigger makes all the difference. Makes all the difference. Bad one. Very low. Very low. And that one. Still got some very good compression in it, this gun, considering how many years old it is. Number 8, I think. Number 8. pulled that one off. It's a poor shot. Pulled that too early. My muscle memory is still on my £5 trigger on the other gun. I've shot it so many times. Got a lot of low shots on this. Quite a few low shots. This one's not going to win, I don't think. In this instance, last shot. That's it. Game over. To bring the target in, I've got squares in my eyes now. That much light being reflected. 2 square blocks. Right, I've brought the targets both in and put the little circles round the holes and tried to give them a fair points related to the shots, as it were. And turns out the Mito, however you pronounce it, is the winner by 9.4 points. 9.4 points. Under different circumstances, maybe the Webley will win in the future if I can sort some different pellets out that it probably works best with. I don't know, I haven't pellet tested the gun, but still doing good compression, that Webley is, considering how old it is. I'm amazed. But then again, we don't know its full history and how much it's been used over its life. It might be stuck in cupboards for years or somebody's drawer. But yeah, between the two, I even missed I didn't miss the actual 14 centimetre square target. All shots went on the target, but I had one here what was very close to the edge with the Mito, and I had one very high up what only just hit it as well. As opposed to the Webley, I only had one shot what came out the ring, the rest didn't. So I don't know, if I was to repeat this test, you never know, I might win with the Webley. It's got a far superior trigger, and I'm pretty sure if I dibbled about with it I could get it even lighter than just over £3. But I know for a fact if I can get the trigger better on this, or I can take it to a gunsmith's on the Mito, that can be improved a hell of a lot more. Most of my shots I actually pulled off target. If I held the gun with 2 hands, that would be a different story. There wouldn't be one up there and there wouldn't be one down there. Definitely wouldn't be. In fact, there probably wouldn't be any outside the number 5 ring. But I hope you found some entertainment out of this video. Sorry I've gone on. This is therapy for me. Now I've got to spend a few hours editing it, so it saves me thinking about other stuff. But take care everybody, thanks for watching. Back soon.